3. Today we're going to be looking at non-fiction texts in English. Our lesson outcome is to understand the features of a non-chronological report. Don't worry if you don't know what this word means yet, we're going to learn about it today. Our success criteria is: I can verbally explain the purpose of a non-chronological report. I can identify some of the features of a non-chronological report. And I can compare and contrast a non-chronological report with other types of texts. Compare and contrast just means talk about what is the same and what is different. Our key vocabulary for today is non-fiction, your turn, non-chronological, features, and compare. Now remember to use your perfect presentation if you are editing your work on Shobi. Before we begin, let's have a go at our Do Now task. Our Do Now task today is looking at pronouns. My turn, your turn. Pronouns. Pronouns are words that can be used in place of a noun. This is so we don't repeat ourselves too much. Pronouns can be personal or possessive. Personal pronouns are the most common. I, me, he, him, she, her, you, it. Them, they, you, we, and us. These are called plural pronouns. This is when we're talking about more than one person. Pronouns can also show that someone owns something. My, mine, his, hers, your, yours, its. Or they can show that more than one person owns something. Their, theirs, our, ours, your, yours. Today what I want you to do is write the missing pronoun for each sentence. You do not have to write the whole sentence, you can just write the missing word. Number 1. Can you read this sentence? The ball is small and something is red. I want you to look over here at the pronouns and think about which one is missing. Write it down. Super. It is red. Number 2. Read the sentence. My father wears a uniform because something is a policeman. Which pronoun do you think you can use from here to fill in the sentence? Remember to use your phonics to sound out the words you don't know. Write it down in your book. Super, the answer is he. My father wears a uniform because he is a policeman. Number 3. My sister is kind. Something always helps me. Which pronoun from here would fit in that sentence? Write it down. Super, the answer is she. My sister is kind. She always helps me. Okay, today we're going to be comparing the texts below. A text is just a piece of writing. I want you to pause the video. I want you to think about what is the same and what is different. Have a look at them both. You can use these sentence starters to help you. Both texts have, Many Beasts has, but Sizo, and you can talk about what is different. Pause the video now, read the text and think about what is the same and what is different. Super. Some of the differences that we can see are that Sizo is a story that is made up. it is a fictional story. This text is about mini beasts and it is not made up. It is what we call non-fiction. That means it is true. My turn, your turn. Non-fiction. This is a report. It tells us facts about mini beasts. Some of the things which are the same about each text is the title. Both the story and the non-fiction report have a title. They also both have paragraphs. You can see here there are different paragraphs in both the story and the report. A non-chronological report tells us information about a topic, but it is not in time order. So this report about mini beasts tells us information about this topic. There are some important features. Features just means things. Some important things that every non-chronological report needs to have to make sure that the information is clear. They want to try to teach the reader about a new topic. Can you have a little look at any of these features and name them? Pause the video to have a think. Okay, if you are not quite sure about any of the features, have a look at the arrows and see if you can work out what you think they might be pointing to. Have another go if you were not sure. Super, let's have a little look at some of the features. My turn, your turn. Title. This tells us what the topic is going to be about. My turn, your turn. Diagrams. A diagram is a picture. This helps the reader to understand better. Factual language. Now, factual language just means facts. It has facts about a topic. It tells us information about this topic. So it tells us here about where mini beasts live, and it gives us facts about what some of them look like. A non-chronological report is always written in either the present or the past tense. This is written in the present tense because we know that mini beasts are still living just now. Subheadings. My turn, your turn. And we know this also has paragraphs. It is to help the reader see where the information is organised. And at the top we have got an introduction. An introduction tells us a little bit more about what we are going to read, but it doesn't go into too much detail. Let's read through each feature again. Super. Now let's have a little look at some of these features below. I want you to pause the video and I want you to think which of these are features of a non-chronological report. An address, subheadings, imaginary characters, factual language, feelings, paragraphs, an interesting plot or storyline. You can write down which of these features we would find in a non-chronological report. Now remember, this is a non-chronological report. It tells us information about something that is real. Pause the video and write down which of these you think you would find in a non-chronological report. Super. We would not find an address in a non-chronological report. We would find that in a letter. Oops. Subheadings. We would find them in a non-chronological report. Imaginary characters. Now, imaginary just means made up. We would not find imaginary characters in a non-chronological report. We would find factual language. Factual language means facts which are true. feelings. We would not find feelings in a non-chronological report. We might find them in a diary entry. Paragraphs, we would find in a non-chronological report, and interesting plot or storyline. We would not find, because a plot is what we find in a story. It tells us about the beginning, the build-up, the problem, and what happens at the end. But a report tells us information about a topic. What you're going to do today is have a little look at this non-chronological report. It is about polar bears in the Arctic. What I want you to do is read all of this. If you are struggling to read any of the words, use your phonic sounds to help you sound them out. Then, when you have read it, you are going to find some of the features that we have talked about. You are going to find them in this report and underline or circle in these colours. So for the first one, it says title, red. So I'm going to look for the title and I'm going to circle it in red. And I know that the title comes at the beginning. So I have circled the title in red. Now, I want you to do 2 to 6 on your own. You're going to circle or underline each of these features. Can you do that on the sheet? When you have finished this task, you can upload it to Shobi, and there is a question that we are going to think about at the end of our activity. So when you have finished your writing, you can come on and have a little think about this question. Ravi thinks a good subheading, now remember a subheading is like a title that we get in our work, in our report, for this paragraph would be, where do pandas live? So he thinks that a good subheading would be, where do pandas live? I want you to think about whether you agree or you disagree and why. So you will have to read this and think about whether or not where do pandas live would be a good subtitle. You can write your answer underneath your work and explain why you agree or disagree.